Welcome back, folks. This is Suave, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Himitsu Sentai Gorenger Manga. This is being published by 7 Seas. First, we're going to take a quick look at the history behind this book, and more importantly, we're going to be diving into this book and seeing what is inside. So, without further ado, let's begin. Alright, folks, here we have the Super Sentai Himitsu Sentai Gorenger Manga. This is published by 7 Seas and is originally written by the legendary Shotaro Ishinomori. This cover is featuring the 5 main characters of the series. And of course we have the nice little letters up here saying before Power Rangers there were these guys. And of course Himitsu Sentai Gorenger was a TV series that aired in Japan around 1975. That was basically the original Rangers before we got the Power Rangers that we know here in the West. Now Shotaro Ishinomori not only created that TV series, but he was also a mangaka, and he created a lot of different series, one of them being the manga adaptation of that television series Himitsu Sentai Gorenger, and that is what we have here for the first time published in English. Alright, let's take a quick look around this book. So as you can see, this is a hardcover book, and let me see if I can bring a shine over here real quick. So you can see the lettering of the title shining up top here. That means the lettering is glossy. It has a little glossy effect. You can even feel the glossy effect. So it's nice that they have this little gloss for the title. It really stands out over the rest of the cover. We're going to take a quick look at the spine of this book, because as we all know, the spine is what this book is going to look like most of the time when it's sitting on your shelf. So we have the blue classic collection symbol up top. We have the rest of the title of the manga, the author's name, and we also have the Aka Rangers helmet here, which I thought was pretty cool. And we also have the logo for 7 Seas. We're going to take a quick look at the back of the book. So the back of the book has the synopsis, and it also has the helmets for all 5 Rangers. So overall, this is actually a pretty awesome book. And as you can see down here, it retails for, let me see if I can focus that real quick. It retails for about $25 US. And in retail, that's just the retail price. I'm sure you can find it cheaper elsewhere. Alright, let's go ahead and dive inside this book, because that's what I know you all want to see. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. We're going to see we have the front cover, and we're going to take a look at the table of contents. So the table of contents is actually pretty important, because you're going to see not only we have the introduction, the different chapters of the books. We can see that the one chapter ranges from page 5, and the next one goes all the way to page 207. Now the reason for that is because this first part of the book, the first half basically, covers what was printed during the weekly Shonen Sunday magazine. So this story was published in parallel with the TV series. The difference being that the main characters in this story, in the manga, they were actually teenagers, rather than the TV series. I think they were like adults, or at least young adults already. So that was sort of a difference that went on over here in the manga. The other 4 chapters that you see here were actually published in a different magazine, Shogaku Gonensai, and I think that translates to like the 5th grade magazine, something like that. And so these were shorter stories that were published in that magazine, and they have a much different approach than the first one. But overall, they both sort of complement each other, and regardless if you're a Sentai fan, you're going to want all of these series anyways, so it's a really nice collection to have. Now, I'm not going to go over every single page in this book, because that's probably like a copyright issue or something, but we will go over a few pages. The introduction here goes over the history behind the book, behind the mangaka, the creator, the history of the manga itself, and you get the cover page for the first part of the story, and you dive right into the manga pages. So these manga pages in particular, they are not necessarily thin, but not necessarily thick like you get with those regular manga. They're sort of somewhere in between, because they do wave around a bit, but you don't get a whole lot of bleeding. Let me see if I can sort of bring this in closer with these white feet over here. So you can kind of see there's a small little bleed through over here, but it's really not that bad. It's barely noticeable, so it really passes on pretty well. So you can definitely tell that these pages are a little bit thinner than what you get with normal manga, but they are pretty passable for the quality that you're getting here. And it makes sense with this manga, because this is a very large manga in comparison to what you would get normally from other publishers, and even from 7 Seas themselves. This is a very premium size manga that 7 Seas is publishing here. I don't think they've ever, at least to my knowledge, I've never seen 7 Seas publish a hardcover manga this size. So this is actually really awesome that they're doing here. And of course, the beginning parts of this story, it features our guy Tsuyoshi, and here we see he's training over here. He's with his father. They get the mystery package, and that's when his father introduces him to the suit. And I really like this part over here where they actually call him the Aka Ranger. So in Japan, when you see the TV series, I believe they called them Aka Ranger, Aka meaning red in Japanese. And so I found it interesting that they kept the Romanji hiragana names rather than translating it directly to Red Ranger. They kept it as Aka Ranger. And you'll see that with all the other ones too. They all have their own names. Like I think it's like Mito Ranger, Momo Ranger, something like that. But you'll get translations later on if you get confused near the end of the book that we'll see later on. And so here is the pretty much the story that goes on with Aka Ranger. You have this cool little splash page with a helmet. And the other thing that impresses me about this book is the binding of this book. They did a really good job where the binding doesn't go all crazy and you don't get a whole lot of gutter loss here in the middle. So I went to this page on purpose because we have this double spread page with the building going in between. And so you can see it's not necessarily going all the way into the binding. I'm not sure if this is just how it was printed originally in Japan back then in like the 1970s or early 1980s. And, you know, maybe they just left it cut off here. Or if maybe that's just how 70s printed it. I'm not sure. I don't have the original one to compare it to. But regardless, you don't get a whole lot of gutter loss in the middle here. So you can clearly see the double spread page images whenever you get to those. And we'll go ahead and skip a few pages to one of the other ones. So yeah, like here we have another one with the jet. So here you can see where it's all the way into the page and you don't get a whole lot of loss there. And another one midway through over here where they're confronting the guy over here. So we have pretty much almost no gutter loss here. It's really great to transition between both pages, in my opinion. Now, I don't think that this singular book collects every single Gorenger story that was written by Shotaro Ishinomori. However, it does collect a few of them because I think this manga series was actually done for like maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe a little bit longer, something around that time. So obviously there's still some stories that aren't collected in this book, but they did collect a good chunk of it. And so here we have the break page featuring the second part of the book where it has the 4 mini stories that were published in a different magazine. Yeah, here we go. Here's what I was saying earlier, 5th grader edition. So this is what the magazine that was published from here, April 1975 to July 1975. Now the mini-series over here, from what I read, is supposed to focus more on like the spy aspect or the suspense telling stories, but it still features the same characters, and I think it's just a different perspective of the story. But regardless, it's still a pretty awesome thing to collect, and I think fans of the Sentai, fans of Power Rangers, are definitely going to enjoy this book. This is something that you're definitely going to want in your collections. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap it up by going to the end of the book. So here we have the translator notes. You know, you get a little notes here for the translations from the different pages and the different panels of what's going on. And yeah, here's what I was talking about with the Ranger names. So obviously, they give you the translations here where Aka is red, Ao is blue, Ki is yellow, Mito is green, Momo pink. And that is going to wrap up our showcase for the Himitsu Sentai Gorenger Manga book published by 7 Seas. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this book and if you're going to pick it up. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe because we're going to be showcasing more premium products like this in the near future. So with that being said, I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.